But as far as Meek Mills, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these, all you fake hard.
I really do feel this way. This Kim Kardashian devoted her life to something, but it certainly wasn't the pursuit of academic excellence. She didn't even go to college, Harvey.
Kim Kardashian didn't just rise to fame. She was placed there. And the man who helped place her, the same one now serving a 50-month sentence for trafficking and racketeering. That name, Sean Diddy Combs, has become radioactive in Hollywood. But what few people are willing to say out loud is how deep Kim's connection once ran, and how quickly she tried to erase it the moment the walls closed in. We can see it in the timeline, in the sudden digital disappearances, and in the panic now radiating from her public image. Kim Kardashian isn't just managing a crisis. She's outrunning a past that could destroy the entire Kardashian machine. It started quietly in March 2024, when Kim unfollowed Diddy on Instagram. On paper, it looked like a simple act of distance. But that same week, federal agents raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami, seizing evidence linked to an ongoing federal case that would later expand into trafficking and racketeering. Insiders at the time said Kim's unfollow wasn't a coincidence. It was self-preservation. She wasn't cutting off an acquaintance. She was deleting an era. For more than a decade, the Kardashians had been fixtures at Diddy's legendary parties, often photographed beside him, laughing, glowing, and networking their way through Hollywood's inner circle. When those same parties became part of a criminal investigation, Kim's silence was deafening. She didn't comment, she didn't post, and she certainly didn't defend him. Instead, she unfollowed and vanished for 2 weeks from her own platforms.
They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
The fallout grew even more uncomfortable when Ye, her ex-husband, the father of her 4 children, and the man who knows her machinery better than anyone, took aim. In early 2025, Ye launched into a rant about Hollywood sacrifices, a phrase that sent social media spiraling. They can control LeBron, Jay-Z, Beyonce, he said, but they can't control me. To most, it sounded like another Ye moment, but behind that rant was something else. Ye was connecting dots between celebrity influence, hidden money, and the people who built careers on access to power. When he mentioned Diddy by name, followers began asking what his ex-wife knew about those same circles. The implication was clear. If Diddy represented the dark side of fame, then Kim had been sitting at the same table for you.
And, you know, the thing about the kids at some point here, and not for the younger ones, it's at some point. For North, it's right now, right? That even if she doesn't see it, even if somehow Kim is able to keep that away from her, the kids that her friends at school, they're going to know about it. They're going to see it. And it's just, it puts the kids in a horrible situation.
From there, the chain reaction only got louder. Ray J, Kim's former boyfriend and the man tied to the tape that launched her career, reappeared in the headlines. But this time, it wasn't nostalgia. It was a threat. During a live stream in September 2024, Ray J told millions of viewers that he was preparing a federal RICO case against Kim and Kris Jenner. Claims so explosive, they triggered an immediate lawsuit for defamation. The feds are coming, he warned. It's about to be worse than Diddy. The Kardashians' lawyer, Alex Spiro, called the remarks false and serious, but the damage was done. Viewers had already clipped the livestream, uploaded it to TikTok, and dissected every word. Why would Ray J, who once benefited from Kim's rise, risk another legal war unless he believed something was there? And if his allegations were baseless, why did the family move so aggressively to silence him instead of simply ignoring him? By October, a forgotten piece of footage resurfaced. A 2014 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians that suddenly felt like a confession. Khloe, recounting a weekend party, laughed as she told Kourtney, half the people were naked. She named names. Diddy, Quincy Brown, Justin Bieber, French Montana. Back then, it was just another story from the family's reality show chaos. But in 2025, that clip looked different. That wasn't a harmless anecdote. That was a timestamp, placing the Kardashian sisters inside Diddy's world during the same years federal investigators now describe as his most disturbing period. Fans flooded the comments under old photos. Kim in silver sequins beside Diddy, Khloe's caption reading, "Nothing like a Diddy party." What had once been glamorous now looked incriminating.
Like, it's just crazy. Interact with other human beings besides the children in your family all day long. We're great, I know.
Behind the scenes, the mood in Calabasas shifted from defiant to fragile. Kim's public appearances dropped. Her team canceled interviews, and insiders said she'd become deeply paranoid about leaks. Around the same time, Ye reignited their feud by accusing her of blocking their daughter North from being associated with one of his new projects featuring Diddy's music. He leaked their private texts, exposing the raw tension that had never really faded. "She's hiding behind lawyers," one post read, before being deleted. The fight wasn't just about custody or parenting. It was about optics. Kim couldn't afford any connection, even indirect, to a man the FBI now classified as a suspected trafficker. And Ye, sensing weakness, kept pushing.
But it's gotten you so far.
I don't know how I would deal as a mom. I'm going to have to.
You're going to have to. I was going to say, we're going to get to that. But do you think your mom is unfazed now? Do you think there's anything you actually could do that your mom would be like, actually, what?
I think every time we say that, something comes up and then it's like, what?
What followed was a series of small implosions that made the entire Kardashian brand feel unstable. Kim was slammed online for defending North's viral TikTok videos featuring fake tattoos and piercings, an attempt, some said, to distract from darker headlines. Then came the lawsuit against Ray J, the press statements about reckless disregard for the truth, and finally, Kim's on-camera breakdown during the season 7 premiere of The Kardashians. Sitting in a sterile exam room, she confessed to her family that she'd been diagnosed with a brain aneurysm. They were like, "Just stress," she said. But the question no one asked on screen, and the one echoing through every gossip forum since, is what that stress really was. Because by then, the Diddy sentencing was only weeks away. 50 months behind bars, a global scandal, and a list of witnesses that, according to court filings, included names from across entertainment. Kim's unfollow had come months before that verdict, almost as if she'd seen it coming. Insiders claim her team was terrified she might be subpoenaed, not as a suspect, but as someone who could verify the inner workings of those celebrity circles. Whether that fear was justified or not, pressure was real enough to make her health unravel.
Courtney always says North is my lesson on this planet.
What does that mean? She's your lesson.
It means that I'm supposed to learn even more patience.
Meanwhile, Ye wasn't letting up. He continued hinting that Hollywood's elite protect their own, and that Kim's empire was built on sacrifices no one wanted to name. For him, it wasn't about the marriage anymore. It was about exposure. And his timing was strategic. Every time new filings emerged in Diddy's case, West's rants resurfaced, tying Kim's image to the narrative she was fighting to escape. By late September, even casual fans were asking the same uncomfortable question. Did Kim rise on her own? Or was her success engineered by a network now collapsing under federal scrutiny? And that's when everything took a darker turn. In a teaser for her reality show, Kim sits at a table, visibly shaken, whispering, "Why is this happening?" The camera lingers on her face just long enough to feel like something more than exhaustion. Her public explanation, stress from her divorce, the weight of co-parenting, the pressure of fame, was believable. But what if it wasn't the full story? What if the real stress wasn't yet at all? What if it was the dread of what Diddy's trial might expose? The parties, the tapes, the people who were there and the ones who weren't supposed to be. What if that aneurysm wasn't just bad luck, but the price of keeping quiet as a world she once thrived in finally started to implode around her?
Kim Kardashian has a big announcement about the bar exam.
By the way, results come in 2 weeks.
She has passed it. Or at least she is very confident that she passed it.
If the first half was about the cracks in Kim's story, what's coming next is about what's crawling out of them. Because now the story isn't just about a reality star under pressure. It's about an empire built on silence, money, and control. And when we start following the money, things get uncomfortable fast. Take the $200,000 a month Kim receives from Ye in child support. On paper, it's a divorce settlement. But in context, it feels like something else entirely. This isn't child support. It's hush money. A monthly reminder that some secrets are worth more than others. And if that sounds paranoid, wait until we see what Kim allowed her 12-year-old daughter to post online. Every time Kim tries to pivot toward positivity, Ye drags her name back into the same conversation. Diddy's empire, Hollywood's sacrifices, and the price of silence. When he says, "They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce, but not me," it sounds like ego. But what if it's evidence? What if he's naming the network that made and protected stars like Kim in exchange for their compliance? The tension between them isn't just personal anymore. It's systemic. A billionaire reality mogul and a fallen rap icon, both tied to the same crumbling foundation. And right in the middle, their 12-year-old daughter, posting artwork that looks less like innocence and more like a warning. Maybe North doesn't even realize what she's signaling. Maybe Kim does. Maybe that's the point. By now, the pieces form a pattern we can't unsee. West's rants, Ray J's threats, Diddy's trial, North's drawing, Chloe's confession, Bieber's silence, Kim's aneurysm. These aren't random scandals. They're coordinates on the same map. And if that map leads anywhere, it's somewhere darker than we're ready to admit. Because if Kim Kardashian's fame was built on silence, what happens when the world finally stops listening to her and starts listening to them? Tell us what you think in the comments. Are we watching the fall of an empire or the unveiling of something much bigger? Until next time, stay alert, stay curious, and remember, Hollywood's brightest lights always cast the darkest shadows.